What's up, guys? Today we're doing a beavertail rudder install for a Moken 12.5. I really like the rudder, and I'll tell you a little bit why after I show you the install video, but I think it's a really good accessory to have on your boat, and we'll jump right into it. I have already put on the rudder, which is very easy. You have a piece of tubing that goes into the back of the boat that comes in your kit, and then you do get 3 plastic washers. And then with these plastic washers, you want to space it out so that the pin in here can't slide up or down, so it basically locks it in place. And then you've got the smallest washer on top, so only thing that's touching the boat is plastic, and it'll help keep your turn more smoothly. So you want to make sure that when you're putting this cord through, that you have it going over the first pulley and under the second one towards the front of the boat, because that is going to be the least resistance when you're pulling this rudder up. So the next thing you want to do to make life easier with this, because I've done a lot of them and I found out this is the easiest way, is get some of the cable that comes with the kit. They're going to be rolled up, and it's for your foot pegs to attach to the rudder. But take this and feed it through the up-down cord tubing until it comes out the back. And have a little piece of fishing line. I use a little 10-pound braided line because it's small enough that your knots don't get caught on anything. But you want to tie that to this rope and pull it through, because if you just try to push the rope through, 9 times out of 10 it's not going to work. So if you tie it together and feed it through first, you don't have to worry about this later. Connected by the fishing line, you're going to feed it through, and most times it'll pull through very easy, with very little effort. Just like that. Now you've got So the next thing you want to do is remove the original foot pegs that come with the boat. And these are going to be the ones that have the orange on them. These don't have a space for you to clip in your tow control. And the real big thing when you switch these out is you don't want to use the bolts that you took out of here to install these. They don't fit right. So the black is what it comes with, and it gives you these silver ones in the package, and you want to use the silver ones because it's going to rest better and fit tighter. So the next step, you're going to get one of your tension screws. This is going to thread over the cable and then be a part of your foot peg system. This is going to help tension your foot peg to keep it in the position you need it to, so that it doesn't take too much work to steer it with your feet. So this will screw right into the front of your foot peg. And what I usually do is screw it in till I see the gray get flush with the end of the black piece here. And that's where I'll usually stop. After that, there's a little notch in the bottom of this foot peg that you're not going to be able to see, but it needs to feed under there so it doesn't come out, and it's going to come up over the top and into this groove. After you have your cable threaded, you need to get your tow control ready, and you want to make sure that your washer and the pulley in here is on the outside. These pieces will fit into the opening in the back of your foot peg, and they just twist in, and it's on, it's locked in. And then you use these springs as tensioners. So once these are in, when you push it forward, it's going to want to flip back. And once that's in, you'll take your cable, feed it through the top here, pull it through, and now once this is all tensioned, you'll have your tow control here and have forward or left and right at the tip of your toes. And it's just going to feed right into the already pre-drilled rudder tubing. And most of the time these come through the end pretty well. Usually I'll twist it and push it and back it out and push it until it goes through. If for some reason you have a hard time and you cannot get it to go through, cut off the end, put a dab of super glue on it so it keeps all the pieces together, and it'll usually thread through very easy. But once it's through, pull it to the back, start the next side. Once you get your cables run, you need to come to the back and get a 10mm wrench for these nuts here, and then inside they have a small Allen key that pins the cable down. So you'll get here and you'll unscrew this, and you don't need to take it all the way out, just enough to get the cable through the hole. So you'll take that, feed it through, and you'll want to do this to both sides before you tighten anything up. Once you get them snug, you want to hold this straight, and you want to put enough tension on these so that your foot pegs are very close to straight up and down. And they can be adjusted later if you don't get it exact. That's the nice thing about having the Allen tension here as well as the twist lock tension in the front. So once you get it here, I'll start tightening this down, and once I have enough to hold the cable there, I will take my wrench, put it on top, and just tighten it down a bit more so you don't have to worry about this slipping out during use. The other thing that I want to make very clear is you do need to have this able to swivel. If you tighten this down and start using the rudder, when you're turning left and right, it's going to put a kink in the cable and it's going to wiggle until it snaps. So you need to keep these loose and able to spin. But once you have both of these tensioned, the last thing you'll have to do is put together the up-down cleat, and that's it. So once you have these tensioned, you should have your toe control pretty much straight up and down over your foot peg. That's going to give you the best turning. And then after that's done, the last thing to do is install your cleat. And that's really easy. It's just 2 self-tapping screws. You've already got a spot marked in the boat for it. You want to make sure the cleat part is facing forward. Then you thread your up-down cord through, put the ball on, and you want to tie this pretty close to your cleat, because once you pull this up, you're going to have a lot more cord. So once this is on, you'll pull that up, stick it in the cleat, and your rudder stays up out of the way so you don't bang it on anything in transport or when you're getting out of the water. And you cut the end and singe it, and that's going to be good to go. So once you have everything set, you can come to the back and cut your excess cable. I always like to leave a little bit extra just for tensioning in case you have to adjust it at some point in time. And then after you get that cut, FeelFree does give you these little end fittings. That'll just slip over the top. You'll take a pair of wire crimpers or a pair of pliers, but if you use pliers to crimp it, do it softly because you can cut through it. But you'll take that, pinch it on to the cable just so you don't have anything pokey off the end, and that's it. After that, your rudder system is done and your toe control has left and right. And now you're ready to get out there and fish. So the beaver tail is now done, and really what this is meant for is to help you in any dynamic water. So if you have current, say in a river, or if you're in the ocean, it really helps for positioning, as well as if you're fighting the wind. If you're paddling in the wind and the wind's wanting to blow the front of your boat to the left or to the right, instead of changing your paddle stroke, you can use the rudder to change your direction and keep your same stroke, which in the long run is going to take less effort out of you. As great as that is, my big reason of having this is the fishability. So when I come to, say, a long rock wall or something of that sort, if I have a crankbait, a spinnerbait, a chatterbait, any of those baits that have a lot of resistance, when I'm fishing them here, it's going to turn your boat. So the front of your boat's going to start spinning out, and you're going to bring your rod over to the other side to kind of turn yourself back. When you do that, you're pulling the bait out of the strike zone. With the rudder, you can cast down a straight rock wall or whatever, grass line, whatever you're fishing, and while you're fishing it, have the rudder hooking towards the grass line or the rock wall, and have your bait pulling you out. Between the two of them, you'll start heading straight, and it's going to make fishing a lot more efficient. So until next time, stay fishy, my friends.